Good morning. We are in Erie, Pennsylvania, where I learned how to fly 172. And the topic for today is to kind of demonstrate in VR the landing rate script and as it's used in VR. So I've been working with Dan, the author, and we have been kind of making. He made some improvements, and I added the VR support again to the current version, and and we've been over the probably the course of the last week. We have been uh, trading builds back and forth to kind of get to the state where we are right now. So the goal for today is I'm going to do a bunch of landings. And rather than doing touch and goes, I'm going to do 3 nautical mile approaches. Um, they're way faster. If you're trying to show off landings, then spending time in a pattern is kind of pointless. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. My VR headset is a Vive Pro 2, and I'm using Valve index controllers that hopefully you can see from the camera. And you also should be able to see my yoke. You can't quite see my pedals, but my yoke is a Fulcrum One yoke. So the cool thing about this yoke is that's 8 inches. That's 8 inches. It makes landing an airplane so much fun. The pedals that I'm using are MFG crosswinds, and I have added a dampener to it, and I'm very happy with that. So that's basically my physical hardware. Everything else that I do in VR is done with my two index controllers. And as you can see, index controllers are basically strapped across, this goes across the back of my wrist. So the controllers are always with me, they don't leave. And I can easily land an airplane just like this. I don't need this controller to land an airplane. I don't need two hands on a yoke to land an airplane. I need one hand with an airplane that is in trim. Probably the thing I learned 5 hours into my flight training, maybe more, uh, is how to always keep an airplane properly in trim. Um, it was too far into my training that that becomes stress to me. From that point forward, whether I was flying a real airplane or a sim airplane, I would never be out of trim. Just too much work. So, and I can hand fly for hours. It doesn't matter. Once it's in trim, that makes it easy. So, what am I doing here? So, the plane I'm going to use today is called a rep airplane, a reality expansion pack. And this is for the default Cessna 172 of X-Plane 11.55 R2. Uh, the reason I wanted to use this airplane is it has a better flight model, I guess would be the right way to put it. Also, it's less forgiving. So you have to do things kind of correctly. So if I do things too wrong, I'll break this airplane and I'll have to get another one. So, so the other gadgets that I have here is this guy over here is plane command. This here is a landing rate script. So when you land, this populates. And the way I have mine set up, it populates for 45 seconds and then it goes to the state it's in right now. The cool thing is that you can see through it. So it doesn't block my vision. And this is a Fly with Lewis script. This is also a Fly with Lewis script. Basically, this is landing information, and I normally have it parked right here, but I have a checklist that I want to run through first. So, um, so basically, pretty much any information that you would need, or that's relevant to landing, I tried to put it in here, and I made it just like this. So you can see the prop through there, you know. So no matter where I put this will never block my view. I can always see right through it. So it took me a little while to figure out how to do this with Fly with Lua. And the cooler thing is this script. Uh, if I go into 2D, if I get out of VR, this script will in 2D it will have a border around it and a move bar. In VR, if you don't have the borders around it, you can't you can't move it. You just can't move it. So the way I wrote this script is it automatically changes uh, to uh, to a type of window that you can move in 2D. Alrighty, let me just kind of quickly go through my checklist here.
OBS sim sound.
So OBS sim sound, we got to make sure that oh yeah, just making sure that OBS is getting the sound.
Check. Mod mic in position.
This is my wireless mod mic. It is in position.
Check. OBS mod mic sound.
Can anybody hear what I'm saying? Yes, they can.
Check.
Cool.
OBS streaming.
Yeah, looks like I'm streaming.
Check. Over toolkit windows.
VR toolkit. That basically is what allows me to have the chat window in here. I have Pilot ATC in here. I have my desktop in here. I have a sound mixer that allows OVR toolkit allows me to bring all that in.
Check. Fly with Lua sound script.
So I have a sound script here so that I can individually adjust the sounds, just like you would in 2D if you went to the sounds place in X-Plane, where you can adjust the sliders. I have that where I can do it in my VR cockpit.
Check. AVI tab plugin.
AVI tab, the greatest thing that's ever been developed for VR. So we have charts, we have airports, routes. I don't use routes, maps, aircraft notes, providers. Providers, you can use ChartFox or you can use Navigraph. The Navigraph are geo-positioned so that your aircraft will be on that map live, which is pretty cool. But for this particular flight, not necessary, but he kind of comes along for the ride. So.
Check. Rep weight and balance.
So I got to check a couple of things because I've been flying rep this morning and I want to make sure I didn't break anything. So we go to rep, weight and balance. Let's make sure I got some fuel in this thing. Yeah, looks pretty good. I got 15 gallons. Everything looks good here, so we'll say that's good. Yeah, we'll say that's okay.
Rep maintenance log.
Alrighty. Back to the same place, but the maintenance log. This is what I'm more worried about. Show maintenance report. Okay. So as you can see, I can bring this right into the VR menu. It's a little bit big, but I'm not going to be here long. So all I'm doing is quickly going through, making sure I didn't break anything. Page 99, nope, I'm all good. So we'll close this.
Check. 2 brakes. Test and set.
The
3 fuel selector.
Come on.
Both. 4 fuel shut-off valve. On, in. 6 beacon.
So this is a checklist. It's basically for a rep. And since I'm not really going to be starting the airplane right here, I'm going to start it live in the air. Um, we really don't need to worry about that. I just wanted to make sure most of the my I haven't streamed in a while, so I wanted to kind of make sure that I got everything kind of working because I have streamed and been a while into the stream and you kind of and somebody in chat goes, "Hey, we can't hear you." Yeah, that's kind of a little disappointing. So, but it looks like everything's okay. So I'll put this guy back over here, and I think I'm ready to go fly. Yeah, let's have some fun. Okay, so oops, not that one, this one. So basically, you come over here in X-Plane, you go change location, customize, runway. Whoops, I got to go back. I got to check something. I'm pretty sure I'm on 2.4, but I want to make sure that because I'm running live weather, so I want to make sure that I am, and as it's probably hard to see this in the stream, but this box here is attached to my headset. If I move my head back and forth, the box is attached to my headset. I reach up here and I highlight that bar. I pull down on the trigger. Now I have a hold of it. I can put it wherever I want in the cockpit, and it will stay in that particular position. The one thing I got to do is I got to check weather. So we'll turn this on.
Yuri INTL
There we go.
Tomridge FLD Information X-ray. 1400 Zulu weather. Wind calm, visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 20, dew point 15. Altimeter 3020. Arriving runway 06.
Oh.
Departing runway 06. Advise on initial contact you have X-ray.
And even though this is here, I can actually just go right through that, highlight it, and I basically flip the frequency. So earlier today I was flying on runway 24. That's why I checked to make sure. So now, customize runway 6 on runway 3 nautical mile approach. Confirm, start. And we'll launch about 2,000 feet in the air, 3 miles away from the airport, just like this. So I could have took off and did a pattern and all that good stuff, but boy, this is much faster. So right now, the plane is a little bit too fast. So I pulled back on the yoke and trimmed a little bit. I need to line myself up with the airplane. So that's what this button does. I look straight ahead, click. My yoke, physical, and the virtual are aligned. For some reason, we ain't got lights on. Strobes. Beacon. That's kind of interesting why that wouldn't be on. Oh well. So let me see if I can find this airport. There we go. That's runway. So we're going to pull this guy back to 1600 RPM. Whereabouts? Here everything's kind of where I want it. I'm actually going to put you on the back out of the way. Just a distraction. So, still too fast. Okay. 1 notch of flaps. Do some trimming. Was a little abrupt, Bill, but that's okay. And let's get this thing lined up. This was pretty bad off. There we go. That looks bad. Hey, you run out of time, Bill. Okay. 1 more notch. We're good. Trim a little bit more. Not too crazy here. And we'll trim a little bit more. Trying to get rid of some airspeed here. I'm a little quick. But we'll make it work. It's okay. The landmarks on this side of the airport are not as convenient as they are on coming from the other side, but whatever live weather says, that's where we're going to be. So, alrighty. So we have a display threshold, so I got to get up over that. So we'll wait. 60 knots, about 500 feet per minute on the descent, around 1500. Back idle power. So let it come down, pull back on the yoke, pull back, pull back, pull back. Good, but early flare. Okay, well, first flight of the day, that's not too bad. So, let me stop a little bit here. I'm going to put the parking brake on, and I'm going to increase the RPMs a little bit so the rep don't get excited. So basically what this thing populates, and this will be this way for 45 seconds, so we've got to talk fast. But basically it rates your landing. So it rates the vertical speed, the number of Gs, the type of flare I had, so it was good, but I was a little early. How far the nose was pitched up in the air, and how long did I float? In other words, from the time you started flaring, how long did it take you to get the wheels on the ground? And 45 seconds is up. I'm done talking. Do this again. So, change location on runway, 3 nautical miles. Start. Start. Here we go. So I got to turn my yoke back on so I can make sure I'm lined up. Looks good. I have a button on my yoke where I can turn my visual yoke off. I'm a little too fast. I'm going to try to trim it up a little. So I'm putting the nose up, so it's going to go up a little bit, and then the airspeed's going to go down. Pretty good. 1 notch of flaps, a little more trimming. Much better off this time around. Okay, looking good. 2nd notch of flaps. And actually I should have been back to 1600, but we'll get there. You can see the plane's like diving a little bit, so it's going to dive down a little bit, find its balance spot. There, it found its balance spot. So we're doing 70 knots. Hands off the yoke. This plane is in trim. So this thing will go this way right to the runway. So, and I have 2 notches of flaps in right now. And something happened here to my view. Let me check this again. There we go. I was seeing way too much of my paddling, and I just don't prefer that. So I'm at 70 knots. I'm going to hold back on the yoke just a little bit. Put in the last notch of flaps. Give me just a little bit more trim. And kind of shooting for 65, maybe 60 knots going across the numbers, or across the threshold. Looks like we're pretty close. So now what we're looking for is the pappies up there. They're all white. And so that says I'm high. And as we continue here, we keep watching them. They may change. 1500, 600 feet per minute on the descent here. Everything is looking really, really, really good. And so get ready to pull back on the power here. So you easily got this made. So we pull back on the yoke, pull back, pull back, pull back. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Stop the airplane. So, Buddy made it happy with the flare. Let me pick the RPM up a little bit here, just to keep rep happy with me. So speed was good. Butter means it's under, I think, minus 125 feet per minute. So it's a pretty soft landing. And then you're looking at your, where the G's at? Yeah. So a little under 1G when I come in landing. Nose, the nose up just a little bit. In other words, when I landed, the nose wheel was off the ground by a little bit. The worst thing you can do is bring the plane down and have the nose wheel hit first. You can break nose wheels if you do that. And it's gone. Time to try it again. And like I said, if I was doing like patterns, there would be no way I could pull off this many landings this quick. Alrighty, show my yoke again, see where I'm at. Don't look like I'm quite lined up. Oh, that looks much better. Get rid of the yoke, myself more aligned with the runway. Try to pull the yoke up a little bit. Kind of get rid of some airspeed. There we go. A little bit more. Oh, let's try this first. Oh, that'll work a lot better now. That's the thing on these kind of approaches. There's not a lot of time. There's just not a lot of time. Where when you're doing like a regular circuit, I mean you got all kinds of time. So because you figure you're taking off, you're gonna go down the downwind, cross the base, then the final. You got all kinds of time to kind of get things figured out. Where from the time I launch to the time I land, I haven't timed it, but it's I'd be surprised if it's 5 minutes. So it's pretty quick. But as long as you're comfortable doing what you're doing, it's not really a big deal. I can see I got one red right now, so I'm just a little bit low. They're about as difficult to see in the VR headset as they are in real life. So we're getting a little bit slow in airspeed. I'm going to put the power up just a little bit and try to trim the nose down a little bit to get some airspeed. I'm not low enough, I'm concerned, but under 60 knots at this point is a concern for me. So I went from 16 to maybe 1750. So, but there's only one red, so I'm still a little high. So we got all flaps in. We got to pull the power back all the way right now. And that may have been a little early. Oh well, we'll see. Try not to get. Yeah, I was a little bit early. It says I was a late flare. I pulled the power back earlier than what I should have, and so I was trying to get over the threshold, and I think I landed just before the threshold. So, but that's life. And that's what I have to do, like every time, because of how I'm doing this. Oops. Oop, wrong way. There we go. Because I'm launching myself this way, normally if I was doing touch and goes, these two windows would stay exactly where they were. But because I'm like launching, I'm basically starting, kind of restarting X-Plane. Then Fly with Lua restarts. And, okay, back 1600. Hold up back on the yoke a little bit. Yep, that's good. A little bit of trim in. Don't get quite as aggressive as I did, but I need to get rid of airspeed, so I pull back a little bit. Get the nose up. That's better. No, they're not. Okay, looking not too bad. Definitely higher now. Looking way better. So I'm gonna do one more notch of flap, and I'm gonna pull up on the nose, get rid of the airspeed, and see if I can get this thing to descend better. Let's see where we end up. You're kind of looking at the runway, and if the runway is not moving, if it's not moving down or up on you, then you're in a good place. And the pappies are telling me that. So I'm actually probably a little bit too quick. So I'm gonna pull back on the throttle right now. Kind of let it kind of come in here. I'm gonna make sure I don't have any pressure on the yoke. Nope. Oh, this is all me right now. Okay. This is Bell. Okay. Yep. Don't look too bad. Getting a very good flare is not the easiest thing to do, but I strive for it. All right. So I'm basically trying to look straight ahead. So my two controllers are on either side of my yoke, so that gets me pretty well squared up with the virtual cockpit. So okay, back to 1600. One notch of flaps. You can hear that. As soon as those flaps come in, you can hear it in the headset. The difference in airspeed. You can see it decrease. You can hear it decrease. Okay. One more notch. And you can see here my yoke. My yoke is at neutral. I have a plus 16 on my trim wheel, and but this plane's flying itself right now, so, and it's coming down at around, it was around 500 feet per minute, so it's just a little bit quick. So we pull back on the yoke again. Try to trim it. Trying to get 60, 65 right here will be okay with me. Just looking at those pappies, I got 4 white pappies in front of me there. So if they, when I start getting too low, then the one on the right-hand side, it'll turn red. And basically, what they are is they're just lights there. The one just turned red. They're basically boxes. I can probably can't get stopped quick enough to actually show them, but they're boxes, and it's just related to the position that you're looking at them. That's what makes them change color. So now we got 2 of them red because I'm closer to the closer. So we'll see if we can see them on the way by. Power off. Yeah, you can see them on the way by. They're just yellow boxes with lights in it. So even though I wasn't paying attention, so I landed a little hard, you know, but I got a good flare out of it because I was kind of looking at the pappies and kind of looking at my landing, so I ain't too bad. Oh, what a way to spend a day. I think we've been playing. Oh, not bad. So, first thing I do, get lined up. So get lined up for the airport. I'm pulling back on the yoke. You can see it here. So I'm pulling back on the yoke. I move the trim wheel. So the airspeed went down almost too much, but that's okay. A little misaligned here. So we'll put 1 notch of flaps out. And I forgot about the power. I wonder what's going wrong here. Alrighty. No, they're not. And even when I'm like moving the plane left and right, I'm not pulling back on the yoke at all. It's in trim, so it's doing about 65. Yeah, about 65 knots. So this is KERI, Erie International Airport. This is where I learned how to fly same airplane I'm flying right now. It's where I learned how to fly one. So pretty cool place. It's got this. It'll give me a little more power. Airspeed a little bit low here. So I'm just shoving in on the yoke a little bit, so I'm getting it to nose down a little bit to get more airspeed. And hopefully I can pull the power back. That airspeed should really remain pretty close. But this thing is juts out into the lake. That's our peninsula. It's about 300 acres, and it's kind of like a wildlife refuge. It's a pretty cool habitat there, you know. So there's hiking trails and stuff, bike trails and stuff. So pretty cool place. Pretty cool place. Oh, this is so we're alongside the Lake Erie, one of the Great Lakes. So, all right, pay attention. Pay attention. Yep. When I pay attention, I can do a pretty good job. So let's park for a minute. So put the brakes on. I'm gonna pick the RPM up a little bit. So let's take a look at what I did. So I'm gonna go to views, case view, display. Kind of glad I figured out how to do this in VR. I'm not sure how good an experience this is from the stream viewers, but this is some pretty cool stuff that you can actually just see what your landing was, and because it was a good landing, I just want to see what it was. So I'm going to try to stop it about the time I hear the chirp. So they called that a good landing, huh? Really? Let me go look. Oh, when you're in this view, the circle, it's circle or it's circle. So when you're in this view, you're up so high that it is deceiving. I thought my nose wheel touched. So then, yeah. Let me back up a little bit. Something doesn't look right. So I'm on the ground. Oh, let me back up just a little bit. Things you can't do in real life. So there we go. So it's just about down. So what? Yeah, it said I was pretty flat. So that's not too bad. But I mean, when you're gonna land, you kind of want the two main wheels to be on the ground first, and then um touch the nose wheel. So let's go check something. So I can turn off the beacon light, and if I pause the sim, whoops. Give me a minute. I was in replay mode. Okay. So, right. So the nose was -1. So it was it was almost flat. So even though it was a butter landing, they called it very good flare. You're really close to actually touching the nose wheel first, or at the same time. Excuse me. And so that's what I wanted to check. But this landing rate thing. So I had to turn off the beacon light. If I turn it on, it'll disappear. So you turn off the beacon light and you put it in pause. Right now I'm in pause. So if I go unpause, the that disappears. So it allows you to like after you're done, you can go ahead and kind of check, what your previous landing was. So, alrighty. I judge my position by if I put my controller down by the trim wheel, how close is it to my leg is how I judge my position. So, because in a real airplane, when you put your hand down there, you're going to be pretty close to your leg. So I try to judge it exactly the same way. So, and the other thing is, pull the power back. Because as you can see from the stream, I'm doing this sitting in front of a desk. So this yoke is mounted to my desk. So my desk is right there. So my goal is to have this virtual cockpit basically a little bit in front of my desk. So if it's in front of my desk, all these switches I can hit here without hitting anything. I just hit my yoke, I could feel it. So, but that's kind of my goal. That's how I try to set things up. So, okay, we were not paying too much attention here, so we're coming down. A bit high. So, if you're high, let's get rid of some height. Yeah, I've been, what have I been doing? Give me a little more power here. Yes. I basically took a hiatus. Give me a minute. Or an early fire, yep. Wasn't paying attention, that's okay. Whoops. So I was kind of waiting for X-Plane 12 to come out, quite frankly. And so I kind of like took a break, kind of hoping that would happen sooner than it has, but that's okay. So I kind of like took a break. And then I tried to, I kind of wanted to, I was looking at Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it looks really nice, but the problem that I'm having with it is, because of the way I fly, so I fly with a physical yoke and paddles. So all of my other interactions is with my VR controllers, because I have the Valve Index controllers. If I'm on Microsoft Flight Simulator and I try to increase this throttle by, we'll say 100 RPM, just 100, I can easily do this in X-Plane. If I try to do the same thing in Microsoft Flight Simulator, it would easily go 10, 15, 20%. So I would move my controller nothing, jump 20%. I can't fly like that way. There's no way I would stream it. So I was gonna try to like do some VR stuff in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it just isn't conducive to how I fly in VR. So I stuck with X-Plane and kind of took a little bit of a break, and then I ended up hooking up with the guy from LandingRate to kind of improve that, and so that's kind of why I'm back to streaming again. My goal is not very much longer that I'll be able to do this in X-Plane 12. I would so much love to show that thing off, but that's kind of where we are. So, that's kind of why I haven't been around. Yep. Yeah, it's I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty happy with it. So, well, let's go see if I can do this again. Hello. Let me stop here a minute. So now that I'm kind of at a place where I can, so you can see now my controller, this is one edge of my desk, so I'm a little bit crooked. So if I take and look this way, and that's better, it's better this way, but it is a little bit more difficult to get to the yoke. So I'm going to turn a little bit that way. Not too bad. But that's kind of my goal here, is that I want this here to be a little bit in front of my desk. And right now, it's not. It's actually a little bit behind my desk, and I need to kind of like do some readjusting that I don't want to do I could do right now, but oh, should I or shouldn't I? I think I will. I think it's a good time to try this. Uh, so hopefully I got this program in here. So basically, to adjust your position, there's a program called, let's go find it, VR Tools. So we're going to go to Hotspots, Hotspot Editor. So this is a pilot seat. So I'm going to put this thing right here. And what do I need to do? So I need to pull this, I need to pull the dash closer to me. So if I remember correctly, I think it's this one. Because this is good. So I'm going to pull you back. So as I do this, that virtual cockpit is coming back towards me. And I didn't need to move much, so I think I'm good. So I'm going to click on relog, and I'm going to click on update, and I'm going to click on commit. So how's this going to go? So I got to log, I don't have to log out. I got to go to a different airplane. This will be quite interesting what Rep's going to do to me, but hey, that's okay. So we're going to go, let's go to Laminar Research. Hello. I'm going to just go here. Basically, I have to get out of the airplane and get back. Whoops. That wasn't quite the plan. Okay, we'll try this. This should be even better. So I went to the Rep airplane, and now Rep is really unhappy with me. There's a bar up here that says, "Whoa, what the heck did I do?" What is going on? Fly the airplane, Bill. I'm trying to figure out what's actually going on here. Why my airspeed seems so slow? I haven't quite figured out what's going on quite yet. But for some reason, my airspeed is really, really, really slow. I'm not quite sure why yet. What is wrong? Oh, that's why. So, let's give Bill just a split second or two here to kind of regroup. Okay. So what happened is I had to reload the airplane to readjust the seat position. So when I did that, the airplane, of course it's Rep, so it's going to remember. It's going to remember the state. So the state was full flaps. so I got launched in the air with full flaps. And needless to say, that wasn't going well. So, alrighty, down again. Okay. You're pretty well under control now, Bill? I think you are. That was hilarious. I'm glad I was streaming that. Some things Bill does at times. So, alrighty, pull power back again. But I'm high. So we should be okay. Need to get lined a little better here. Get over. There we go. So maybe give it a little bit. I think I misaligned with the plane. It's making it a little bit more of a challenge. than it normally is. So. Yeah, and I always like this. So basically, rep says, "Do not land with the brakes on. The tires may get damaged or explode." And you look at landing rate. Landing rate says good but early flare. You know, minus 225. Whoops. And you know, but there's no way does it say that you landed like that hard. You know, so it's kind of like, okay, so let me let me. I got the parking brake on. I got mine at 1,000. Let me see if I actually improve this. Yeah, can't really tell. I may not have moved it enough. I did move it some. It may not be back far enough, but that was more than enough fun to to do on a stream. Then I'll pass on that. So, but so that's one thing I wanted to show off, and I wanted to show like how basically you do that. You know, where you and I ain't gonna go through all of it, but you know, basically it's this plugin called hello, called VR Tools, and so basically you can basically set the hotspot of anything, but you know, you're for this particular position, you're gonna set the position of your of the pilot seat. And like I said, what I'm trying to do is get the virtual cockpit a little bit in front of my desk. And there's two reasons for this. The one reason is that it makes the gauges much more readable. So like right now, over here, I have a direct route line for KHCY. And so if I'm in this position and I just look, I can see over here the distance is 29.3. I don't have to lean in to see that. I can just turn my head, and I can see that. And I've basically backed off my headset. I'm running a little bit under native resolution, so my for X-Plane it's like 36%. So the resolution that X-Plane is getting is 2000 by 2000. The Vive Pro 2 is 2448 by 2448, and but like I said, it's not affecting the readability. In other words, can I read those pappies at the appropriate distance? Yes. Can I read the gauges? Can I read text? Yes. So you're kind of trading that off. You're trading off is how readable it has to be, as opposed to how good are your frames. And the better your frames, certainly what I'm trying to do is stream VR. It's better to have some better frames as long as it's readable enough. So, but alrighty, let's try this again. When it isn't such an exciting start. That was entertaining. Okay. When we've been at this. Alrighty. Oh yeah. Acting like a normal airplane again. I'm glad I actually figured that out. So what do we got? Actually, I'm pretty close, so. Alright. So I was watching a video, no, a stream yesterday, and they were doing this this approach at Oshkosh. And part of the approach is they had to follow these railroad tracks. And the streamer I was watching seemed to have an unbelievably difficult time kind of just staying lined up with the railroad tracks. So I kind of thought, since I'm already in the airplane, I think I'm gonna do a touch and go here, and I'm gonna see if I can follow these railroad tracks. Let's see if that's really that difficult. It doesn't appear to me. I kind of know what elevation and all that stuff you're supposed to be doing, so I think that's what I'm gonna do next. So now it'll be more fun. Okay, should be doing about 80 knots. Pretty close. Runway heading. Up we go. So what I'm gonna do is I'll go out here a little ways and I'll yeah. Let's go over here. Because right now I'm climbing so much that there's no way I can see anything in front of me, so I got to get to a place where I can kind of get this plane trimmed up. Alrighty, let's do 2,000. That way I'll be legal VFR wise, and so let's pull her back. We'll try 2,000. We'll see if I can do that. I may not be able to. So railroad tracks, there they are. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get to 90 knots, follow these railroad tracks. I can see them right down there at around 1,800 feet without using an autopilot. I just didn't think it was that difficult a task, but until I've actually done it myself, I can't judge. I'm a little bit fast. I'm fast because I'm diving. So let it quit diving. Okay. Well, she's climbing a little bit. A little hard to see above. But once she gets level, then it'll be okay. Yep, right below me. They're absolutely below me. They're going out that way. Whoops. I'm gonna go just to the left, right a little bit, just to make sure. Yep. Just want to make sure what I'm looking at is exactly what I think it is. Yeah. And I'm like, no autopilot, just a trimmed airplane, kind of following a line out in front of me here. So since I proved to myself that that is possible, a little bit low, not terrible, but I go up to 2200. Try to get a climb a little bit. So this is basically our peninsula. So basically you can see it when I get out here a little bit. A little bit low to be going over the water, but it's a simulator. Okay, so I turn around a little bit here. But basically there's this a pretty thin sliver of land that comes out, and then this kind of gets bigger. And then, and that goes over to there. This part right here where the water is. So you have a jet of land coming out there, another mini peninsula. That's called the channel. So basically inside here, this is the Bay of Erie. So, so what the advantage of it is that it protects from the storms. So, and outside on the lake side, there's break walls that big mounds of rock that basically kind of break the waves from eating away at the peninsula, because the peninsula is majority sand. So, and every year they basically have to reclaim it because just the winter storms tend to eat it away. So, but it's a pretty cool place. So it's about 300 feet, 300 acres, and so it's pretty slick. So let's see what else I can play with. I wonder if I can get this to work. Let me get on the right frequency. Let me get on tower. Let me do a little more aviating here. Stay active, runway.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf arriving and departing runway 06.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, request land, runway 6.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, enter pattern on a left downwind for runway 06. Call downwind.
Okay.
Enter pattern on a left downwind for runway 06 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
So the ATC that I'm using is called Pilot ATC. So I just thought, since I'm kind of in the area, and kind of thought the right way to end the stream would be to go ahead and contact Tower and say, hey, I'd like to land. So. It's been a lot of fun. Kind of showed off what I wanted to show off. Had a lot of fun in doing it. So, pattern altitude here. The elevation is 730 feet. So pattern is around 1800 or so. So I'm trying to get kind of all trimmed up here for that. I've got my heading bug dialed in at 6. Compass looks like it's pretty well aligned, so yeah, we'll get set up for a landing. So I'm on the downwind. I'm a little too quick, so yeah, 80 knots is okay. He's trimmed. That'll be okay. So we're just looking for the numbers on the 06 end. Once we find the numbers, then we'll go ahead and reduce the power and get set up for a landing. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind runway 6.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, altimeter is 3007, call turning final for runway 06.
Okay. That's all I need to do. Alright. I'm going to hold back on the yoke a little bit. Pull the power back to about 1600. And then I'm going to put 1 notch of flaps in. And try to get this guy to descend a little bit, while not getting too crazy. So I'm looking back at this runway. I was descending a little more than I thought I should be. So I'm looking back at this runway. I want to be at about a 45-degree angle. And we'll turn on in. So 1 more notch of flaps. Definitely getting way too slow here. That's okay. So as I turn around, I got this heading bug lined up, so that's gonna be okay there. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf turning final.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf winds are 030 at 5 knots, cleared to land runway 06. Cleared to land runway 06 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Thank you. A little bit high. We can fix that pretty quickly here. Just want to get lined up first. Coming in pretty hot and spicy here.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf exit runway when able.
Okay, I'll try. I'll try. I think I gotta stop here. Thank you. Oh yeah, that was good. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, clear of the active.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is Erie Tower on 118.1. Please repeat your request.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, request taxi to General Aviation Parking.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, contact Erie ground on 121.9er for taxi clearance. Ground on 121.9er for taxi clearance. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Ground Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is ground, go ahead.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, request permission to cross runway 220.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, cleared to cross runway 22 at pilot discretion.
Cleared to cross runway 22 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Okay. Former student pilot at this airport. I have 108 hours in a Cessna 172. We are at Erie International Airport, KERI, on Lake Erie, in Erie, Pennsylvania. Pretty nice airport. It's small. The great thing, like when I fly further away out of here, is security's like a non-issue. I mean, it's like so easy. So. Oh, okay. Yep. Where are you going? The field truck does have a mind of its own at times, so. And it doesn't seem to be aware of me at all, so. Where are you going? Oh, come on now. Don't hit me. Give me a second. Trying to dodge a fuel truck. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think the last time I was in a real 172 was, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that, so. Okay. Get the parking brake on. What sim are you using? Oh, okay. Uh, highly recommend getting this. This is pilot to it. Hello. This is pilot to ATC, and so basically it's a synthetic ATC. Way better than what's in the plane in X-Plane 11. Way better, way better. It will also work with Microsoft Flight Simulator. The advantage is that it allows you to learn how to communicate with ATC. No. It's just a 2D window. Let me show you. That's what it looks like on my desktop. So, all I did is let me get rid of this one. So, all I did is brought this window into my VR cockpit. So, that's all. No big deal. It all depends on where you want to put it. I mean, in my case, because I fly in VR, I have X-Plane really small, okay? Because I don't need it in VR. But you could easily, depending on how big your screen is, this desktop I have a 34-inch monitor, so it's a big monitor. So so you could easily find some place or put it on a second monitor, whatever is appropriate. So I believe you could, but I've not done that myself, so I'm not sure on that. But I think you should be able to do that, or there should be programs that allow you to do that. I would think you could. I would think you could. So, but extremely helpful to for, like, you know, just getting used to talking to ATC, because quite frankly, correct. When I first started flying, my two fears were trying to figure out how to taxi an airplane and talking ATC. The advantage of where I learned that is at the Towered Airport. You have to talk to ATC. You don't have a choice. So it forced you to learn, you know, to kind of get rid of the stage fright. But when my first probably 5 hours or so of training, I had learned how to trim an airplane. So think about doing a pattern. So basically you're taking off, so I would take off in that direction, and so you turn and you're on your downwind, and you have to push down the mic button to talk to the tower. There was so much pressure on my yoke, I had a hard time holding the button down, because my instructor at the time hadn't instilled in me how important trim is. It is the most important thing of flying an airplane, trimming an airplane. Once I learned that, it's a non-issue. But till I learned that was difficult. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I forgot what it is. It's 60 or 70 bucks. Think about it in the real world. What's an airplane cost you to rent? Probably 200 bucks. Yeah, it's probably pretty cheap then. I always base things against that. How much is it in a real airplane to rent, fly? Got an airplane, you got to pay fuel, you got to have a flight instructor with you. Yeah, you'll burn through $200 pretty quickly, if not more. So, anything else? This is why I stream. It's for chat. So. Okay, I think I'm going to call it a day. It's been fun. Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. Like I said, I stream for chat. Being a VR streamer, sometimes I don't get a lot of interaction with chat, but whenever I do, I will interact, guaranteed. The only time I will not is if I'm on a short final. It sounds like that was a follow. They were showing up in my Twitch, but I don't, in my chat window, but I don't see that one. But it's pretty sure I know what that sound is. So, alrighty, without further ado, I'll see if I can figure out how to shut down this airplane. So, like my instructor told me, you turn off the avionics first. No, being a VR streamer, there is no way that will ever happen. We are a rare community. Not everybody can watch a VR stream. They can't. Because the sad part is wherever I move my head, that's what you see. Yeah, I know a few. I know a few. Flight simulation, I can probably put on one hand the ones I know. So, so we got the avionics off, so we can pull the mixture back to 0 and get rid of all of that. So get off all the switches. Master off. Okay, dokie. Think I'm done. This was fun. This was fun. So, I normally, tomorrow, I'll, take this VOD and I'll, shove it over to YouTube. So, I normally, I have been regularly doing that, especially if the VOD is pretty good. And, I'm thinking this one turned out pretty good. So, without further ado, thank you so much for stopping by and interacting with chat. It's my pleasure to pass on any information that I have about VR, flight sim, and anything. So, sounds good. Sounds good. I'll look you up and I'll give you a follow. See you later. Y'all have a great day. And this was so much fun. Thank you.